Thank you. Good afternoon. Welcome to the meeting of Barrow Borough Council. My name is Councillor Kevin Amplin and I am the Mayor and Chairman of the Council. May I first remind you all of the domestic arrangements. It is important that all participants conduct themselves in an appropriate manner. Please put your mobile phones on silent. If any member or officer wishes to speak, please raise your hand via the raise hand facility in Zoom. If you're not speaking, please mute your microphone until invited to speak. And even if you're not speaking, you may still be shown on the screen, so please remember this while the meeting is being conducted. That you do not interrupt other speakers. If members do lose connection to the meeting, we'll adjourn for up to 10 minutes to assist them in reconnecting. I would like to remind everybody present that this meeting is being broadcast live to the internet and all of the meeting will be recorded, except when they are confidential or exempt matters. To vote on matters, I will ask the Democratic Service Manager, Mr. Hook, to manage this process. At this point, members will be requested to unmute their microphones. After a brief pause, a mover, a seconder will be requested. The roll call of members will be undertaken. Please reply with I vote for, against, abstain, then remute your microphone. That's the formalities. Let's proceed with today's business. First item on the agenda is apology for absence. Yeah, we got aliens. First item on the agenda is apology for absence. So we'll hand over the Democratic Service Manager to do a roll call for members and officers present at the meeting. Mr. Hook.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councillors Oswald.
Present.
Barlow. Councillor Barlow.
Present. John.
Biggins.
Present.
Blizzard.
Present.
Brooke.
Present.
Burley.
Present.
Burns.
Present.
Callister.
Present.
Cassidy.
Present.
Edwards D.
Present.
Edwards H.
Present.
Gorn. Councillor Gorn.
Present.
Councillor Hall, we've got apologies from at the moment. Councillor Hamilton.
Present.
Husband.
Present.
Johnston.
Present.
McClure.
Present.
McEwen.
Present.
McLeavy.
Present.
Maddox.
Present.
Mooney.
Present.
Morgan.
Present.
Knott.
Present.
Pemberton.
Present.
Preston.
Present.
Roberts.
Present.
Robson.
Present.
Ronson.
Present.
We've got apologies from Councillor Seward. Shirley.
Present.
Thompson A.
Present.
Thompson C. Councillor Colin Thompson.
Present.
Wall.
Present.
Worthington.
Here.
Chief Executive.
Present.
Director of Resources.
Present.
Director of People and Place. Director of People and Place.
Present.
Head of Legal and Governance.
Present.
Paula Westwood.
Present.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thanks, John. Agenda item number 2, urgent items. There are no urgent items for today's meeting. Agenda item 3, declarations of interest and dispensations. Does any member have any interest or dispensations to declare?
There aren't any.
No.
Oh, sorry, Councillor Maddox just raised a hand.
Do I have to declare an interest in the borderlands with being on Dalton Council? No.
No.
That's fine.
Thanks, Wendy. Thanks, John. Agenda item 4, minutes. Do you agree that the minutes of the extraordinary council proceedings held on the 8th and the 16th of December 2020 are printed, be approved as a correct record?
Agreed.
Agreed.
Thank you. The minutes of the meeting will be signed at the next practical opportunity. Agenda item 5, announcements. Are there any announcements from the chairman, leader or head of paid services?
Oh, thanks, Mr. Mayor. Further to the special meetings of ourselves, Lancaster and SLDC councils, the council's full proposal on local government reorganisation was submitted to the government on the 9th of December 2020. Since then, there has been an exchange of correspondence with Paul Rousell and further communications with the fire and rescue authorities, police and PPCs. We were asked to provide further assessment on the impact on fire and police services, and this has been done and submitted by their deadline of the 14th of January. Copies of this further assessment have now been circulated to members and will be available on the website. We are awaiting the decision as to whether the Secretary of State will consult on our proposal. Work is ongoing, including to promote wide local and regional understanding of the proposal amongst the public, local and strategic stakeholders, and continued development of the proposal, particularly in regard to duties, powers, services that will be exercised by a unitary council. We will be continuing to raise the awareness of the Bay proposal and hope for a positive response from government to take it to the next stages, which we do expect by the middle of February. Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thanks, leader. Is there any further announcements? No, thank you. Agenda item 6, public participation. Be no request to ask a question, make representations or present a deputation or petition to the meeting. Agenda item 7, local council tax reduction scheme. Can I call upon the chair of the executive committee, Councillor Brooke?
You got around to me too quick there. I wasn't ready. Right, local council tax reduction scheme. The report requests confirmation of the local council tax reduction scheme for the financial year 2021-2022, 1st of April 2021 to the 31st of March 2022. Each billing authority must adopt a local scheme by the 31st of January prior to the start of the financial year. So the local council tax reduction scheme for 21-22 must be adopted by the 31st of January. And I move the council agree the continuation of the current local council tax reduction scheme for 2021-22. That's quite hard to read that.
Thanks, Derek. Do
I
we
look
have a
forward to
second?
next year.
I'll second it. Thank you.
Thanks, Lee. No hands up.
Good.
I take it. Do we have a consensus to saying yes? Agreed? Agreed. Thank you. Agenda item 8. Minutes of the Lancaster South Cumbria Joint Committee. I call upon the leader of the council.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. I move that the council notes the minutes of the Lancaster and South Cumbria Joint Committee held on the 20th of October 2020.
Thanks, Sam.
Mr. Mayor.
Are there any questions for the chair? Do you agree the report that?
Excuse me, Chair.
Yes.
Chair, can I just ask a question?
Go on, Alan.
Just a quickie, really. I noticed the officers in attendance. There was 5 from Lancaster, 2 from Barrow and 2 from South Lakes. In a voting capacity, it would mean that Lancaster have the overall majority. Is this relevant or just for that one meeting?
Would like to reply, Anne?
Sorry, I was trying to find the minutes on my iPad. No, I think there's 3 officers on each, but I think ours had put their apologies in for that meeting, one of ours.
Thank you. Do we agree that we note the minutes of the Lancaster and South Cumbria Joint Committee?
Agreed.
Agreed.
Thank you. Agenda item 9A1, report the planning committee. I call upon the chair of the planning committee, Councillor M.A. Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that the report of the meetings of the Planning Committee held on the 6th of October, the 27th of October, the 17th of November, the 15th of December 2020 and the 19th of January 2021 be received. There are no recommendations referred to Council. The matters determined by the committee were all taken in exercise of its delegated powers, and I will take questions on those matters. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Anne. Any questions of the chairman of the planning? No. Do you agree the report of the... Oh, I must apologise, I'm getting a cold, I think. Do you agree the report of the planning committee be received?
Agreed.
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 Thank you. Agenda item 9A2, report of the Licensing Regulatory Committee. I call upon the chair of the Licensing Regulatory Committee, Councillor Callister.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that the report of the meeting of the Licensing Regulatory Committee held on the 10th of December 2020 be received. The meetings on the 8th of October, 5th of November 2020 and the 21st of January 2021 had been cancelled. There are no recommendations referred to Council. The matters determined by the committee were all an exercise of its delegated powers, and I will take questions on those matters. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thanks, Tony. Any questions of the chairman of the Licensing Regulatory Committee? Nope. Do you agree the report be received?
Agreed.
Agreed.
Thank you. Agenda item 9A3, report the Licensing Committee. I call upon the chair of the Licensing Committee, Councillor Callister.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move that the report of the meeting of the Licensing Committee held of the 10th of December 2020 be received. The meetings on the 8th of October, 5th of November 2020 and the 21st of January 2021 had been cancelled. There are no recommendations referred to Council. The matters determined by the committee were all an exercise of its delegated powers, and I will take questions on those matters. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thanks, Tony. Any questions of the members? Nope. Do we agree that the report of the Licensing Committee be received?
Agreed.
Agreed.
Agreed. Thank you. Agenda item 9A4, report of the Executive Committee. I call upon the chair of the Executive Committee, Councillor Brooke.
Right, bear with me, this is quite exciting, this. There were no recommendations referred to Council from the meeting held on the 14th of October 2020. The recommendations of the extraordinary meeting held on the 5th of November were reported to the Extraordinary Council on the 5th of November 2020. The recommendations of the meeting held on the 11th of November and the extraordinary meeting held on the 8th of December were reported to the Extraordinary Council on the 8th of December 2020. The recommendations of the meeting held on the 16th of December on the statement of licensing policy were reported to the Extraordinary Council on the 16th of December 2020. I move that the report of the meeting of the Executive Committee held on the 16th of December 2020 be received and recommendations contained there, and the recommendations contained therein has been dealt with under agenda item 7. Oof.
Well done.
We should have found them back.
I hope you all
Any
enjoyed that
questions?
out there on YouTube.
Can you have one meeting, please? Any questions of the chair of the Executive Committee? Do you agree that the report of the Executive Committee be received?
Agreed.
Agreed.
Thank you. Agenda item 9A5, the report of the Audit and Governance Committee. I call upon the Chair of the Audit and Governance Committee, Councillor Burns.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. You're getting into trouble, Derek Brooke. I move that the report of the meeting of the Audit and Governance Committee held on the 1st of October 2020 be received. The meeting to be held on the 18th of December 2020 had been cancelled. There are no recommendations referred to council. The matters are all determined by the committee were all in exercise of its delegated powers. And I'll take questions if there are any on those matters. I therefore move, Chair.
Thanks, Sam. Any questions of the Chairman of the Governance and Audit Committee? Do you agree to receive the report?
Agreed.
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 Thank you. Agenda item 9A6, report of the Overview and Scrutiny Committee. I call upon the Chair of the Overview and Scrutiny Committee, Councillor McLeavy, please.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. I move that the report of the meeting of the Overview and Scrutiny Committee held on the 29th of October, 3rd of December 2020 and the 20th of January 2021 be received. There are no recommendations referred to Council. The matters determined by the committee were all in exercise of its delegated powers, and I will take questions on those matters. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thanks, Martin. Any questions of the Chairman of the Overview and Scrutiny Committee? Do you agree that the report be received?
Agreed.
Agreed.
Thank you. Agenda item 9B, questions to the leader. No question has been submitted to the leader of the council under notice as required under Standing Order 10.2 and 10.4. Do members have any questions to the leader of the council relevant to the business before us tonight? If asking a question, could you please refer to the committee, the date and the minute number rather than the page number and the volume, please, if there's any questions? I can't see any hands up, so thank you. So, is this the final one? Thank you, people, for sticking with me while going on. So, can I call this meeting over, please?